we had this secret handshake. They'll never forget you. How do you know? They'll remember.
So you had one of the the few actual scene partners in this series, and you got a good one yourself. What did you learn from working with yourself in just this brief window?
It's been funny, and it was really eye-opening because, when we were shooting, I had a stand-in. And it was a guy who was my size, who wore my clothes, and he sat there in front of me. And at one point, he decided he was going to act. And literally, I couldn't process it. My brain couldn't figure it out. And then at one point, they played my recorded voice over a speaker while he moved robotically, like I was moving in the scene, and my brain just couldn't get it. It was the most confusing thing. So I just had to go home and work on it like it was a monologue, and figure out those beats and moments and those emotional connections and really come in and do it that way so I could appreciate the performance I was giving from the other side. It's hard to look at yourself without judgment. So I really had to, separate the judgment and allow myself to do what it is I was doing and just respond to that.
I was going to say, coming from Marvel stuff, you might have been one of the most prepared people at playing in a scene where you're not actually looking at the thing you're looking at, or you're in a room that's not the actual room or whatever.
Well, I was lucky because, my kids and we always play make believe and, Dungeons and Dragons and all this stuff. So it's very different. As actors, we're always trying to get back to, imagination wise, where we were when we were 5 years old. At some point in your life, someone told you that dragon wasn't real, that broomstick wasn't a sword, that you weren't a real police chasing bad guys in the backyard. So, as adult actors, we're trying to get our imaginations back to that point, to where we believe that dragon is real, that broomstick is a sword, and that we're police fighting bad guys.
Well, speaking of kids, there's a heavy, as a parent, this show kind of messed with me a little because I was like, am I doing a good job? Was I parented well? All of that stuff. Why do you think being a parent is so effing scary?
Because you don't want to get it wrong. And, I realize, you work so hard to offer your child as much as you can, but then working so hard takes away from the very thing you're working for. It's your child. So you try to put yourself in a position and your household in a place to where your child is afforded every opportunity you weren't. But for me, my parents were so amazing. And the opportunity that I had, most importantly, was every day when I came home from school, my mom was there. So it's a really dangerous catch-22. The balance is just impossible to get perfect harmony in that balance.
And feeling alone, we are somehow all together.